Hey everyone, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm back with another video. We are going to take a look at some of Claressa's interview that she did in Atlanta with the Streets Morning Takeover. Now, Young Jock is one of the hosts, and surprisingly, Claressa was asked a direct question about being with a married man. Now we're going to get into some clips of it, but of course, Claressa skated around the question, tried to act as if she's doing nothing wrong when it comes to dating Papoose, with him still being married to Remy Ma. I have a couple of clips from this interview, and let's just get into it. Let's start with the first clip.
Do you think your personal life and sharing your personal life with you and Papoose and y'all relationships has made your boxing presence bigger or brought more of a light to women's boxing and who you are and what you do?
I always say this, and people, we got to stop acting like we don't think that negativity sells or drama sells. When you have a relationship and you have drama and you have other celebrities involved, that's what people want to talk about. You don't want to talk about how I have 19 world championships, 2 Olympic gold medals, born and raised in Flint, Michigan, was born poor, now I'm rich. Big in my community, doing back to school giveaways every year. I just did one. Doing Christmas giveaways every year, giving over to 600 and 1,000 families, training kids. That's too positive. In the black community, for some reason, negativity and drama is what people want. And also, too, how it came out the gate. I was never a side chick to Pap.
Right.
Like, that shit was over before I even came along. Like, they make it seem like, oh, they was a happy home, and then I came in like, oh, I'm that bitch. That's not what happened. That's not what happened.
What happened?
That's not what happened.
So what happened?
Do you think
Okay. You heard her talking about how people do not talk about her gold medals and everything, her world championships. Claressa, you tell us every single time, every chance you get, you've shown your medals countless of times. You say it yourself. You don't give people a chance to say it for you because you are always saying it. Now, when it comes to her talking about donations and her giving away to 600 families, 1,000, and her giveaways, that's another thing you choose to not highlight. If you can highlight your gold medals and your accomplishments, why don't you highlight that instead of hopping in comment sections, instead of going live, instead of worrying about being trolled or about content creators exposing the lies? I don't understand why you don't highlight that. Why doesn't Papoose highlight that? For you to sit here and act innocent as if you're under attack online when you contribute to you being attacked because, and I'm not even going to say it's attacked actually. I'm not even going to say that because you put this stuff out there. People are not going behind your back, going behind the scenes, trying to get dirt. You give us the dirt that we speak about because we always have receipts to back up what we are talking about or what we are commenting on. It's as simple as that. If we didn't have all of this content to show and to speak on, then we wouldn't have nothing to talk about. We wouldn't have anything to talk about if you didn't contribute and give us everything that we're talking about. So for you to sit here and act like you are this good humanitarian, that you give back, you do all of the positive things, but yet all we do is harp on the negative things, that is just totally not true. It's not true. And once again, you're on a platform where people are going to co-sign and they're not going to dig deep enough and really call you out on what you are saying. Because they should have mentioned the giveaways actually. The one where you kicked a woman and her kids out from a giveaway. They should have brought that up if you want to speak about giveaways. And then you get into Papoose and how you're not dating and how they weren't together when you got with him. He was still living with Remy. You were talking on the low. Why are you talking on the low if it's open and nothing's going on? You were dating Tony Rich. He was still with Remy. The public did not know that him and Remy were not together. For you to know that, that's because you were talking to him and he told you that. You were informed of that. So you are telling us something that seems like Papoose told you because it wasn't out and announced that him and Remy were not together anymore. Let's get into this next clip, because this, once again, is a crock of ish. Once again, let's look into this. Look at this second clip.
That's not what happened.
What happened?
That's not what happened.
So what happened?
It was literally a little confusing, though.
Yeah, it was.
When your movie came out, and I remember Jock saying, "Oh, that's the young lady that I've been telling y'all about. She got a movie out, and you were going to the premiere or something of that nature." And then it was like all of a sudden, you know, all of that stuff kind of came out.
But that's just jealousy, though, because as you can see, back around that time, I wasn't even responding.
Exactly.
I was trying to stay out of it because my movie was so important to me. And they told me, Claressa, stay out of trouble for at least a year and a half. Stay out of trouble, which is like, trouble for me is the internet. Like, I don't go to jail. I don't drink. I don't smoke. Trouble for me is like, girl, we trying to get you $1 million deals. We don't need you in drama online. So I was walking on eggshells. I wasn't going to the strip clubs. I wasn't hanging out. I'm like, man, I'm going gym home. And then all of a sudden that happened. And it was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
And my team was hitting me up like, Claressa, don't respond. Don't say nothing. No, just let it. And I was like, oh, my God. I hate the narrative that's not what happened.
What happened?
That's not what happened.
So what happened?
So you heard him ask her what happened. And she goes, that's not what happened. Because he's like, well, clarify. Let us know the truth. And all she could say is that's not what happened. But she chose not to get into detail and tell the truth or whatever was going on and explain what did happen. She tried to jump over that question and just say that's not what happened and left it at that. Then the woman says all of that stuff came out is, you know, before, around the time of her movie premiere. And she's like, all of that is just jealousy. What do you mean all of that is just jealousy? Remy posted screenshots of text messages between you and Papoose, and you begging him to give you flowers and knowing, literally saying to him in the text message that he was married. So what do you mean it was just jealousy? That's not jealousy. That was the truth being spilled. That was tea being spilled. That's what that was. You were being exposed for messing around with a married man that the public did not know him and Remy were even having any issues or separated or whatever was going on in their home. We did not know that. So what do you mean jealousy? Then she says she was told to not respond and to stay out of trouble for at least a year and a half. Nobody knew who Claressa was. She was not causing problems on the internet. I literally found out who she was when Remy exposed her. She wasn't, what kind of noise was she making on the internet for her people to tell her to stay out of trouble for at least a year and a half? Like, what are you talking about, Claressa? Like, for real. Then she says trouble for her is the internet. She doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke. When we have literally seen her drink. We have seen her drink. Smoking? No, I have not seen her smoke. But to say that you don't drink and you have shown yourself drinking on numerous occasions. You were literally holding a bottle of Don Julio at the Baddies audition. And then for you to sit here and say you don't drink. And then for her to say her team is telling her they're trying to get her $1 million deal. Don't say anything. Don't respond. And it's like, that just shows that you not responding is making it clear or letting us know, sending us a signal that is true. Because why would you let a lie spread if it was a lie? If you have this movie that's coming out, if you're trying to protect your image and secure $1 million deal, why would you let a lie spread then? That just goes to show that I believe her team was telling her to be quiet because it's like, if you say something back or respond, maybe she'll show more receipts. Maybe she'll blow this up and it'll just ruin you because it is the truth. It's as simple as that. That would have just been proving it's the truth because you're being quiet about it instead of letting it be known it's a lie. If it was a lie, because those text messages were very real. So she's going to run with this. Oh, I didn't respond when I was being exposed because my team told me to not feed into it, to not answer back, and that's why I didn't say anything when the world saw the way me and Papoose were speaking to each other via text, the way I was begging him for attention and for flowers, and literally saying to him that he's married in those text messages. That's what that was about. On top of the fact that she was dealing with Maserati Bud, because he had video footage and proof that he recorded of being with her at this time. And she said she was staying out at the strip clubs and all of that. Was she not in clubs with Maserati Bud? I mean, this is like ridiculous at this point to just sit here and blatantly spin the truth. Now let's get into this third clip. Let's take a look.
Yeah. And my team was hitting me up like, Claressa, don't respond, don't say nothing, no, just let it. And I was like, oh my God, I hate the narrative that's being written because it's not true. Yeah. And when you keep letting somebody get off with just lying, like, first of all, us as adults, hold yourself accountable. Like, be honest. That wasn't a thing. They were not together. Be honest. Okay, that's what it was. Me and Pep had been together 6 months already. But I wanted it private. He wanted it private because I had just got out of a relationship where, once again, my relationship was public. And when it didn't, you know, after being engaged and then not getting married, you're like, hell no, I'm not going public again. So that was like, okay, now I'm back in another public relationship. But then it has this drama tied to it that I didn't ask for when I'm trying to elevate. I'm trying to be like the Beyonce of boxing.
I know that's right.
The money. Like, I have the potential to get the $20 million Nike deal. So it's like I'm working to get that. So it's like when they see me steering clear and, you know, swerving on the drama, that's why. It's like I'm trying to get somewhere because I'm done boxing. Yeah. And my team was hitting me up like, Claressa, don't respond.
So she's saying that Remy needs to hold herself accountable because they weren't together, they weren't a thing, and to be honest about it. How do you know what they had going on? Because Papoose told you whatever he told you to make you feel secure in knowing he was literally still married and still sleeping on a couch in the house with his wife? How do you know what Remy had going on? How do you know this? Talking about holding yourself accountable, but you can't hold yourself accountable for blatantly and knowingly and willingly dealing with a married man. Hold yourself accountable for that. Then she says, did you hear the slip up? She said her and Papoose had been together for 6 months already, but she wanted it private. Let's rewind. They were exposed in December, correct? That's when the movie was coming out. And if she said they were together for 6 months, that would bring us back to June, which meant that just recently, did they not say happy anniversary? Trying to act like that was the first time they met. But Claressa just said they were together for 6 months already, which means they were together since June of 2024. Not the September that she's trying to spin and make it seem like that'll make it 2 years. She literally just said they were together for 6 months when that happened. And she wanted to keep it private. So this just fully exposes how long they were messing around with each other. Way before they were exposed and way before the date that they initially have been saying in these interviews. What she said on the Breakfast Club. Her saying that September, right? Well, it was really June. So this fake anniversary thing that they were posting, trying to make it seem like, oh, that was the first time we met. No, they were already dating. That means they were already dating. And that's why he was invited to that fight and Remy was not. And she was still with Tony Rich at the time because I definitely have receipts of him posting pics of her with captions like, I love you and things like that. I'm going to post those because I still have them because that was definitely in July of 2024. So she literally just sat here and said her and Papoose have been together. They were together for 6 months before Remy exposed them. And she wanted to keep it private because she was already, to the public, engaged to Tony Rich. Then she says that this relationship with Papoose had drama attached to it that she didn't ask for. So if him and Remy were not together and you were single, why should there be drama? Why should there be drama? Do you not understand? It was drama because you and him were dating on the low. And you didn't want it to get out. And neither did he, because the public didn't know him and Remy weren't together yet. Or were separated, I should say. The public didn't know that him and Remy were separated. That's why he wanted it private. And you wanted it private because Tony Rich was still posting you. He was still coming to you with your to your fights. I mean, that's what happened. Then she says she's trying to be like the Beyonce of boxing. She's trying to elevate and get that $20 million Nike deal. This is what she thinks she's going to get with all of her behavior, the way she conducts herself online and on her lives and in her interviews. She thinks that she's deserving of a $20 million Nike endorsement deal. The delusion, I think it grows bigger by the day when it comes to her. Because if you really felt that way and you really wanted to protect your image, your career, what you've built, what you've accomplished, then you would not have even entertained dealing with Papoose. You wouldn't have even been attracted to this man. Just letting us know that when he was invited to that fight back in June of 2024, that they were already dating. Let's see if people in blogs catch that and post that, because you sat on the Breakfast Club and said that September was when you guys started dating. And it was June when he came to that fight. Let's get into this last clip of this. I didn't clip the whole interview. This is just this part of her being asked about Papoose and things like that is what I wanted to put in this one video. So let's look at the last clip.
Done boxing.
Can I ask you a real question? Because I didn't been here before. How much longer are you willing to be in a relationship with somebody's husband? Because at the end of the day, that's what people are looking at.
Well, pause.
Okay.
Pause, because that's not somebody's husband.
Okay.
Papoose filed for divorce. Y'all hate to say that word, but it's the word that's out there. He filed for divorce because he's serious about me. So I'm not with somebody's husband.
Okay.
And if you're going to call him her husband, make sure you call her his wife. And also hold her accountable for what she's doing in her life. Because she has a man who she's big about. So don't make it seem like it's just one-sided. I'm not with somebody's husband. I'm with the man who filed for divorce, who's serious about me, who has done things for me that I've done for him. So that's not what it is. They say that because they want that to be the narrative, but that's not it. People go through divorces and breakups more than anything in the world. That's why it's such a big talk.
Oh, we know.
Oh, I just got divorced.
I'm in one right now. Look,
But divorces take time.
Yes, it does.
And he's going through the processes. He's been through the course. It is what it is.
Claressa, I went through that. Bro, I was on Love and Hip Hop.
So she finally asked the question, and Claressa stopped her and said, that's not somebody's husband because he filed for divorce. Then hate to say that word because it's the word that's out there. This is the thing. Papoose filed for divorce once, or he posted that he filed for divorce when Remy exposed him, which was in December of 2024. So that means if you were with him since June of 2024, there wasn't no divorce filed on his end, correct? Which means you knew, even though we already saw the text messages of her saying that he was married, you were definitely messing with a married man, Claressa. And that's the truth that you need to be able to admit, being that you want to sit and speak about what Remy should admit and how she was dating someone. Then she says he filed for divorce because he's serious about her, right? He's serious about her. That's why he filed for divorce. Then if that's the case, he would have filed back in June when he met you and thought this was serious, right? He filed because Remy put y'all on blast. That's why he filed, because she blew y'all up, and now he was looking bad to the public because he wanted to keep that image that he had of being this good, faithful black man. And when Remy let us know what was going on behind the scenes, he ran and filed. And it's 2 years later, and they're still not divorced. And if you think in your mind it doesn't matter that divorces really take this long, and you're okay with this, that just goes to show, Claressa, how desperate you are to have somebody. You don't even know how you sound saying that he did that for you. How about he got divorced because he was serious about you? That sounds way better than saying he filed. That's meaning that that's good enough for you. Okay, you filed. I don't care about the rest. We're going to be together because I'm not waiting. So you were with him for 6 months before he even filed for divorce. And he only did that because he was exposed for messing with you. Then she says to hold Remy accountable for what she's doing in her life because she has a man. Knowing Remy just went on an interview this Friday and literally said how she's single. So as of right now, Remy doesn't have a man. And for you to keep speaking on her, she really needs to stop you from doing that. If you want to speak on Papoose all you want, go ahead. But as far as speaking on Remy and her dating life and what she got going on, I'm surprised. Like, at this point, Remy needs to send you a cease and desist. You need to stop speaking on her. You need to stop speaking on Remy to make yourself look better. Of course, these people are not going to ask her about the DMs. Once again, this is the window. This is the time for that woman to have said to her, well, what about you having this friendship with Remy? You DMing her and you guys, her giving you fashion advice and giving you tips and everything. That was the time for this woman to say that, to see what Claressa had to say. Because she's trying to act right now and deflect and make it seem like she's just an innocent bystander. And her and Papoose started messing around and she didn't know what was going on. And he told her that him and Remy were done, knowing you were in her DMs talking to her. Knowing this well before he even came to your fight, well before you probably even started messing with him. You were cool with her. And that's the missing link that these people just refuse to ask her when they sit down on and interview her. Then she says Papoose is serious about her. And he's done things for her, and she's done things for him. But what he definitely made aware or let us know is that never a ring and that you're not living together. So if he was serious about you, he would take the proper steps to be with you. Other than being divorced. You guys don't even live together. You don't live together. So what are these steps that he's taking? It seems like he's trying to get his money up. He could care less about being divorced because you don't care about him being divorced. This just further shows why he's not in a rush to be divorced, because Claressa does not care about him being divorced. She thinks him filing or having that proof, you got to go file to make it look like you're trying to do something about this. Because if it wasn't for them being exposed, he would not have done that. That's definitely what I believe. He would not have done that. He was pushed in a corner, and this is why she keeps repeating that he filed. It doesn't matter. He's not divorced. And instead of you just saying and keeping it real, like, listen, I don't care if he's divorced or not. Instead of saying that he filed, why don't you just tell the truth? You just don't care. It doesn't matter to you because you had no problem dealing with him for 6 months before he supposedly filed. Then she's like, divorces take time and he's going through the process. So that's good enough for her. He's going through the process and that's all she cares about. And it doesn't matter whether he can stay married to Remy for the next 2 to 3 years. She does not care. at this point. She really doesn't. And once again, they dropped the ball without mentioning the DMs and her trying to befriend Remy and speaking to her for over a year or so in the DMs. And it's who's going to do it? So it's like, okay, I'll give you a couple of points for at least asking about being with a married man, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. She needs to be asked about Remy trying to be friends with her, and how did she know that they were not together, right? And of course, the 6 months, because that just lets us know. Back when he was at that fight, they were already messing around, and it was not a first time meeting in person type of thing. Please, they had been talking and been dealing with each other already, and that's why he came out to that fight, and that's why she flew him out to that fight. It's as simple as that. Okay. So guys, that's it for this video. Let me know what you think in the comments about this. Please subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Please hype this video, guys, and I will talk to all of you again soon.